Hey, it is so good to be back with you all. For those of you who know me, what's up? And for those of you who might be new to this channel or to this video or update, my name is Sly Williams. I'm an area director with Young Life, and I've been on staff for about 3 years on the east end of Pittsburgh with my smoking hot wife, Amy, and my beautiful baby boy, Phoenix. And we've been loving it. We've been growing. We have a lot going on. And what I dislike our newsletters. I don't do them personally. My wife does them for me. But I love to do usually a monthly video update so you guys can really just see what I get to do on a monthly basis, from interaction I might have with kids to new people that I may meet in the community. And so it's just been a lot of fun, and also to show off some events that we might be having. Now, with the pandemic, it definitely has altered a lot of things, and so instead of doing monthly, I've been usually doing 2 months, but now that we're picking up and there's light at the end of this tunnel, cases are decreasing, we are having more interactions with kids on a more routine or constant and a consistent basis. And so, yeah, without further ado, let's get into the next scene. And with my guy Josh and Ella, we just wrapped up a session for Stand for Life, and shout goes out to his company, Rocket Republic. Check them out. They're doing some dope work. Nick, you got anything to say? You good? No, fine. Okay, he's good. Thank you so much again, Josh. You're the man. Appreciate you guys. So that was actually a lot of fun. My pastor at the church that I gather with contacted me weeks before this. That actually happened in January, and just kind of let us know about Stand for Life, and we got the information and got to check it out. But it really is like a coalition of believers that come together and they look at the essential things and say hey, these are things that we stand for, and let's lock arms on these things. And so it was a lot of fun to be a part of that rebranding. And so just to have Josh and his daughter in our house, and just like I said, just being a family, those are things we usually do without cameras, of course. But we just be engaged that way. We are usually at the house having fun with Phoenix and just living life. And so it was great for him to be able to capture that and utilize that for Stand for Life. So hats off to you, Josh. I love what you're doing, and I'm in full support and looking forward to seeing the new website. So with being a part of a metro, which is really great because there's 25 other me's and in just other areas of Pittsburgh. One thing I've really loved and what I've been able to model for even my team members in the east end of Pittsburgh is a day away with God, and we call it a DAWG. But one thing my metro director really implemented as he became our metro director is a day away with God. And so we have staff meetings every Tuesday, and he makes one of those Tuesdays out of the month a day away with God. And so we can kind of spin that or do that however we see fit. Sometimes it might just be waking up early and just getting into a book or a podcast and just spending that time hanging out, or maybe you're going on a hike. Now, for the metro who know me, they make fun, or not even make fun, but they know usually 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to link up with my guy, John Petticord, who is an area director in Mount Lebo. He's phenomenal. He's very talented, but he's probably one of the funniest people that I know. And yeah, we just we'll link up. We'll either do breakfast or we'll just link up and go on a hike. And so this time we got to go out and, just check this out. Doing my day away with God with my guy, John Papa Petticord.
What up?
Out here in McConnell's Mill, doing it big. Look at that view. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Nick, you'll be here soon. We'll get Betty out here too. We'll have a good time. Oh my gosh. And the DAWGs, or the day ways with God, are just they're so life-giving and very rich. And to do that with someone else, I really do love it. There are definitely moments where I go out by myself or even spend the rest of we don't spend the whole day together, but we'll spend half of it, and the other half might be just me reflecting personally about things going on in life and just rejoicing in that. But to be able to do that with another brother of faith is always remarkable, and I've learned to grow more because of that. So I'm thankful for JB, my metro director, for implementing that, but also to be able to do that with other brothers in the metro. So I recommend you guys do it as well. So if you've seen any of my videos in the past, you know that I'm a cross-country coach. I'm actually going on to my 4th season. But if you haven't, check out the past videos and you will see that we did have a successful cross-country season even during the pandemic. And there definitely were new guidelines that we had to establish, but we were able to have a season We were able to have practices and go to meets and made it to states, and it was phenomenal. And so now we're preparing to go into track. However, I also do music for the basketball games, and so I'm able to do the music, and it's a lot of fun. But right now, it's a little weird because parents can't even attend. So right now, it's just the students or the athletes, the coaches, and the referees, and myself, of course. And so it's been fun to even get back in there. But check out a couple of the the highlights. Good pass. These kids are balling, and one thing my observation at least, they're very competitive, but one thing I really enjoyed with doing the music is they're just very appreciative. If I'm not there, they're going to still play. So it's not like I'm the staple or the glue to the games, but I think they appreciate the game and just the ability that they have to even play. And so I think they're just very respectful. They're still competitive, and they're still going out there and trying to win, but there is a sense of respect and appreciation that they have not only for the coaches but for each other. And so they play with masks on, and it's just been a lot of fun to be able to give back, and now look forward to when we go back into in-person classes, just like the momentum and seeing actual faces there in the bleachers, but also they know that I'm there. And that's one thing that I wanted to establish with my team at Taylor Orderdice is, hey, if there's anything that we can possibly be a part of, that we're going to be there, we're going to remain consistent and find a way to support that area. So that was a lot of fun, and so I really look forward to the rest of the season and seeing like what that turns out to be. Now, you guys did not come here to just look at me talk about what I've explained to you in the beginning about showing you. And so in the last month and a half, like I said, a lot of things have changed because cases are decreasing, and like I said, I've already built up rapport with a lot of parents. So I was meeting up with a lot of kids, but for the first time ever, or a first time in a long time, probably in about 6 or 7 months, we had kids that were able to come back together since the computer labs that we were running, or the micro classrooms we had in place. We were able to come back together and just have a wing night. So check that out. Wow. Hey, we back. It's wing night, game night.
Yes, sir.
Doing it big. Let's see how many wings they eat.
Oh, yeah, we better
We'll see about that.
Bro, it says that.
They used to serve them espresso, and they thought it was too strong, so they watered it down.
And this was just a huge win in many ways, because it wasn't just kids getting back together, but I've noticed that I was having a lot of one-on-ones, which I really did, or I appreciate having those one-on-ones, but being able to just come back together. A lot of these kids, like, they don't have normal community. They don't have people that are outside of their family that they can just hang out with and just know that they are loved. And for not only my leaders, but also for them to just come together and just kind of have a good time again. It was so much fun to have no agenda, just to come back together and just hang out and laugh and eat food and just catch up with everyone was so much fun. Because I think I kind of got into a routine of knowing what was going on in everyone's life, because I was meeting up with them one-on-one, but they weren't. And so it was really cool for them to like catch up on things that were going on. So that was just a lot of fun. And now, like I said, now that cases are decreasing and it's getting warmer outside, we can have more opportunities and moments to hang out with each other. And so Campaigners is kind of coming back. It is back, but it's becoming more consistent. And we were able to run that on Thursdays bi-weekly. And then in the week that we don't meet up, I'm able to still have my one-on-ones with some of the guys. And the hope is that we can start welcoming new people in as it gets warmer out, and I feel like parents become a little bit more comfortable with engaging and having interactions again. Smaller group settings, of course, but I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm just very appreciative and thankful for the opportunity that I've had with these guys so far. Now this guy, he's a senior. I love him. His name is Jules. You guys, I mean, if you could look at probably any month update that I've put out, he's probably in it in some way, whether it's with track or just hanging out or being a part of an event or serving. Jules is one of my go-to guys, and I'm really going to miss him. He's a senior, and he's actually doing. I took him to Grove City for a college tour, and he had a great time there. And he's thinking right now. You can be praying for him actually, but he's thinking about actually enlisting in the Air Force, which I think is a great idea for him. And I think I just want to be able to give him the resources to do that. Anyway, with all that being said, his mother contacted me, which was great because I really feel like it's more than just me knowing Jules, but I know his family. And so she feels comfortable enough to reach out to me. And she told me, she's like, hey, Jules, he's failing culinary arts. And I'm like, what? How are you failing culinary arts? Out of all the other subjects, you're failing culinary arts. And so as soon as I saw him, I was picking him up. We had like a campaigners, and after I was dropping everyone off, I had a one-on-one with him. I'm like, dude, like, what's going on? And he was honest, and that's one thing I love about Jules is that he is just an honest kid, and he tries not to put up a guard or move away from it or deflect. And he just came out and was like, look, to be honest, I'm back and forth between my mom and my dad's, and also I just get bored. Like being online is like. Taylor Alderdice is a Pittsburgh public school, and so they have not been in person since last March. And so for a lot of these kids, they want that sense of community. They want that sense of having people around them. And so for him, it was just something that it became something that passes him, and he didn't pay attention to it as much. But anyway, I was like, dude, it would be one thing if you're feeling another subject that I didn't understand, but I was like, I can at least help you with that. I was like, if you let me know when you have to cook, I will get all the ingredients for you, whatever you need, and you can come over to the house and you can cook it. And he wanted to make buffalo chicken dip, and so he came over and check it out. I'm here with Phoenix,
Like this.
Amy,
Right.
Jules is doing his culinary art project. He's going to be making B-dub dip. What do you think, Nix? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be good? Huh? Let's see how this all turns out.
The whole thing?
Yep. Just on again.
Alright. Can I get boom? Alright. I always hated doing this, like. Oh, it smells so fire. Oh,
Good.
I don't know, I don't know what it knows. Flame just came back on. How do I turn this off? Here we have it. The buffalo chicken dip. It's just beautiful.
And that's what it's all about. It's not the hokey pokey, but it really is about that. That's what like Young Life means to me is just really giving of my life and modeling and like really coming alongside adolescents, if you will. It's so much more than just meeting them at the school. It's so much more than meeting them at a sporting event. But what am I doing after that? What am I introducing them to? What am I showing? What am I displaying? And for us to open our house is a very big thing. Even during this pandemic, we definitely have moved back from having clearly tons of kids over. But in the moments when we can have kids over or the opportunities open up, we definitely want to walk in that. And so, like I said, we are feeling a lot more comfortable of doing that. And so the hope is that we can continue that. But for Jules, man, just for him to come over and just have a good time, like feel comfortable enough to he knows Amy, he knows Nix, to come over and just hang out and also get in the habit of realizing that he's not alone. He doesn't have to do these things by himself, and he has people there that support him and want him to succeed. And so that was just a little token of appreciation, but also just a little piece of why I do what I do on a daily basis. And to kind of bring this all together, I met this kid that I'm about to talk about. His name's Isaiah White. I love him. You probably see him again. He's one of the top athletes at Taylor Alderdice, especially in cross country and track. But he's one of my guys as well. But he's also a senior, and I've known him. Him and Jules were actually two of the first kids that I met as I moved to Pittsburgh. And once again, just they didn't know me from a can of paint. I didn't know them, and they took a chance with me, to be honest. and our relationship has grown. I've been able to support them. They've been able to know me more and just know that I'm trying to be consistent as possible and just love them for exactly who they are. Now, anyway, Isaiah has a wonderful family. You know, he's supported. He has a great upbringing. He has brothers and sisters that he loves, and he, you know, of course, he's I shouldn't say of course, but he is he does well in his academics as well. So he's not only athletic, but he also does well academically. And the $1 million question everyone asks is like, oh, what are you doing next? Where are you going next? Where are you going to school? And so he had a couple options, and I remember him calling me, you know, telling me about the options that he had, and then he finally called me and let me know or to inform me that he was committing to Point Park University. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I want to celebrate with you. That's amazing. But he took it to another step and said, hey man, I want you to come to commitment night. And I'm like, yeah, like that's amazing. What took it over the edge was when I got there, I realized that it was just his family and a coach that he's known for about 10 years, and then myself. And so for me to just be invited to that and to know his family, to know the coach that he's known for over 10 years was just so beautiful and just a sweet picture of what I desire, like in all the kids' life. Not that I have to know all the kids, but that my leaders, that the committee, that the community that we get to serve in, that we know each other in that way, that it's not this, it's not an awkward moment where I'm just now meeting parents for the first time in 3 years, but for them to know me so well when I come in, they're like, oh, what's up, Coach Sly, how you doing? And yeah, just to hang out with them afterwards. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Check out Isaiah's just a little speech, if you will, but also him signing and committing to Point Park University.
Family, let me see, all my coaches, Coach Donald, Coach Chuck, let me see, Coach Sly.
Can you repeat that one more time? You say that one more time?
Coach Flynn. Yeah, all them. And then all my friends, all my family, and that's it.
Your break is crispy. Who did those?
Miss my name.
And that's what I live for. That's my hope for all the kids, is that really, to be honest, like that I would be what I needed when I was younger, that I would be that type of person for that kid. And so I just needed someone to like hear me out, but also, you know, guide me, you know, to correct me when I was, you know, outlandishly thinking. And I'm not perfect too. And, you know, everything that I say to them, that does not mean that they're going to like completely hear me out, but get to a point that I earn the right to be heard, that they really hear me out and they know that what I say is in love. And so for Jules, for the rest of the guys I know, for Zay, they are at a point in their life where they trust me, but they love me. And that is, I hope that through all that, if you ask any of them, they would say that this all points back. The reason why I do those things is because the Lord first did that for us. And so I've been just so moved by, even during this pandemic, to still feel not alone, but to feel like, you know, if anything, I've increased and built upon relationships that I did have, not only with just students, but with staff members and people in my community and people that I gather with in church. And so it's been so sweet to do that. Now, before I leave, at any point in time, like I got to give you some prayer requests, because once again, I can't do this by myself. I'm not alone, and I know that. And your prayers are heard and they are welcome. And so you can be praying for my ultra. I'm doing an ultra marathon. I plan to run 50 miles within 12 hours, and I've been training for a while, so it's not like this is the first time or first day I'm training, but I've been training really well, 2 workouts a day. I'm on a pretty strict eating regimen, and I mean, I'm feeling really good. I'm hitting my marks that I have out, on my goals that I have, and I definitely have some great counsel. I have great people that I can turn to that really help me out and give ear to my words, and also just recommend because they've experienced it. And they also know me as well. They say like, hey Sly, you need to take a break, calm down, or you know, you can push yourself a little bit more, or hey, you're doing well. So I have people that support me but also stretch me. You can also be praying for Amy and Nix. I mean, they're my motivating factors for what I do outside of the kids. Like, they are one reason why I do these type of things. So you've been praying for the ultra marathon. I'm gonna pray for Amy and Nix. They are just so amazing, so supportive, and I mean, I would be foolish and remiss if I didn't just show some type of video of Nick. So check this out. Hi, Boosh. Hi. Were you just in your zone? I mean, is he not just the most cutest kid? I mean, I'm biased. What can I say? But he's my favorite. You know, I love him. But also, you can be praying for service projects, because I just love service projects. I did not get enough of them when I was younger. But now that I'm 33 years old, I realize just the importance and how they play out in a kid's life. And so just doing things with sometimes not having an incentive of getting something back, but just saying like, hey, I wanted to give back to a community, or I wanted to help out in this way. So now that it's getting warmer outside, and it's not as cold, you know, we definitely want to ramp up. You know, my heart is to do 6 in a year, but I do think we can at least do with, you know, maybe 4 or 5 before this year is over. And so I'm hoping to really get back into that. And so I have a couple ideas. So we're just praying that those things come to fruition. And I know that most of the guys that I do know are always willing to help out. And so that's pretty cool as well. But I also want to get to a point where they kind of come up with ideas themselves and we just run after it, where they come to me and say, hey, Sly, I have this idea for a service project, and we just go after it. So me praying for that. And then last but not least, as I leave out, by the time you see this will, you know, be March. And also we have a campaigner day coming up. Will be March 13th. So you'll be praying for that, because you'll see this before campaigner day. And we usually do a campaigner weekend, but because of the pandemic and everything going on, it just made sense to pretty much, you know, condense, you know, what we do in a weekend into one day. So we'll have breakout sessions that really talk about things that we think would really benefit and lift up kids, and encourage them and just help them as they try to navigate and figure things out in life. But then we'll have a speaker that comes in and just does a gospel proclamation, which, you know, we definitely need for sure. And then after that, we'll go our own ways. Whether we're going to go ski or go tubing or maybe go on a hike, depending on how warm it is. But overall, it's just a way for us to come back together as a metro and just meet kids that we've seen from, you know, last year. We can all come back and just hang out. And like I said, just be a representation of the body of Christ, which is like, it's so good. And I'm excited because we're getting back to that point. And so we also will have some guidelines too. So we won't be just going in there, mask off and just doing whatever, but we really will, we will be social distance, but we'll be able to have a good time as well. And so I know a lot of the kids are really excited about that, because they're getting sick and tired of seeing this mug. So you can definitely be praying for that as well. And overall, just be praying for the area, the committee, the team. We just need your prayers, because like I said, we're not doing this by ourselves, and we don't want to do it by ourselves. We don't want this to be done in vain conceit and selfish ambition. I got to get out of here. If you haven't heard it from anyone else, hear it from me. You have meaning, you have value, you have purpose. I'm going to get out of here. Peace.